Today, this is Deb and Deb's Kitchen. I'm making persimmon crunch muffins. And these muffins, I have to say, were so delicious. I made them before on my YouTube on my Facebook channel, and everybody really loved them. So, what is a persimmon? This is a persimmon, and it has to be this squishy and soft before you can use it for baking. And so I'm going to squeeze the remainder of this into this pulp into this cup, because we're going to need 2 cups. Okay, let me throw this away. I don't need that. However, I do need a little more pulp, so I'm going to come over here for a minute. Sorry about that. You should never leave. leave. But I just realized when I squeeze this in that I need just a little more. And I have it frozen. You can freeze the pulp. So what are we going to do first? We have a muffin tray. We're going to make 18 muffins. So before you do everything, line your muffin tray with your muffin wrappers and get that ready. And now we are going to sift our flour, and it calls for 3 cups into our stand mixer bowl. If you don't have a stand mixer bowl, then you can just use your regular bowl and your beaters. So I have to get 3 cups. I'm going to put in my little sifter into the bowl. 2, 3 cups. And these are going to be delicious. If you need a recipe for the holidays to take to a party, you can't go wrong with this. This is Ina Garten, otherwise known as the Barefoot Contessa's recipe for banana crunch muffins. But what happened is, I love the banana crunch muffins. But one day I was going to make them, and I didn't have any bananas. My bananas had gone over. So I said, well, I'm still going to try them with my persimmons that are ripe. And the consistency of the pulp is similar to that of ripe bananas. So I decided to use it. And it was successful. Okay, so we have 3 cups. And I have a little cold, so I might cough. So I'll have to be drinking my Grinchmas tonic in between. Okay, so we need 2 cups of sugar, granulated. And that, I'll put it in the sifter. What the heck? Sometimes sugar has clumps. We don't want clumps. That's what we're trying to avoid. 2 cups of sugar. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And we have the baking powder here. 2 teaspoons. You got to be very careful when it calls for a baking powder or soda, because I mixed them up before. This one called for 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And this is the one in the orange box. And this is going to need 1 teaspoon, and try to get it measured off exactly, and to avoid the clumps. I saw clumps, but we're going to get that out of there. Okay, baking soda and salt. We need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And always put the salt in. You wonder, why should I put salt? It just does something. You need the salt component. So don't leave out things. Okay, so we're gonna sift this in. This will sift really fast. And see, that's why you sift. Because we have this big old clump of baking soda, and you don't want to bite on that. Okay. So now, let's move these out of the way. We're done with those. And I'm going to put the bowl, I'm going to get my whisk just for good measure and give it a little whisk, even though I'm going to whisk it in the stand mixer. But the less time you spend mixing with your paddle, the more tender your muffins will be. So let's put this back under stand mixer. I'm going to bring it over here so you can see. At this point, you don't need to really see me. You need to see the rest of the ingredients going in. Although it's kind of tricky, turn this on. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's open. It's telling me I'm open. This is my Pampered Chef, and I'm going to, let me see, mix. This is a custom one, so I'm going to scroll down to mix. I'm trying to look backwards. Okay, now at this point, you add your, it calls for a ½ pound of melted butter, unsalted butter. And this is, let's turn that on. 2 sticks of butter. You add your melted butter, now let's turn this off. We're gonna, it calls for milk and eggs. It calls for 2 eggs, 2 extra large. I have medium, so if you only have medium, use 3. We want to get that all ready before we put it in. And have a little whisk here. We're going to combine the eggs, milk, and vanilla and add, okay, vanilla. It calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla, or 2 teaspoons, excuse me. Good vanilla, use pure vanilla. Don't use the fake imitation stuff. If you're going to bake something, take the time to do what it calls for. Okay, eggs. Okay, so now all we're going to do is turn this back on. We're going to add our eggs. We're going to add our milk. 3/4 a cup of milk. We're going to add 2 cups of mashed persimmon. No, that was, yeah, 3/4 cup of whole milk, regular milk. So we're going to let that mix up. It turns up a little more as it goes. I'm going to go check my other pulse. I freeze it all the time. It's perfectly good to freeze your pulp. Just squeeze it out into a bowl and then add it to storage bags and stick it in the freezer. Okay, that is very mixed. Now we are going to add walnuts. I'm going to add, this is something that it doesn't call for, but I am adding, since I'm making persimmon, not banana, I'm going to add about a ½ teaspoon of pumpkin pie mix, and that's not in the recipe, that's mine, that's optional. And I'm adding about 1/8 cup of granulated ginger, sugar ginger, because I wanted to have that vibe. And I'm going to add in a cup of walnuts. a cup of coconut. And if you don't like coconut, leave that out. But it's in the recipe. And a cup of granola of your choice. Excuse me. And all these elements come together to give you a delicious muffin. And I am also adding raisins. This is not called for, but since this is a fall recipe, I'm gonna put about, and you can totally leave this out, but this is what I did last time, and oh, it was delicious. I think I'll put a half a cup. They come out like something between, I don't know, it's delicious. Like a carrot cake type of thing. And we just barely want to mix it. Okay, let me push down the sides, make sure all that stuff is incorporated. And then we're good to go. Now I'm just going to put these in the oven, 350, and it calls for 25 to 30 minutes. I'll check it at 25 minutes. If it's not done, I'll let it go 5 more minutes. You can see some persimmon shreds, that's perfectly fine. Okay, let's get this bowl off here. And I usually take this off as well, so it won't be dripping all over my stand mixer. And that's all there is to it. Of course, I never keep around for the bake, but I will put it in the thumbnail. And I just have to tell you that these are amazing. Everybody who's tried them loves them. The easiest way to make sure you get uniform muffins is to get a scooper, ice cream scooper, and scoop them into your muffin tin. And usually I just get like even scoop. And look how good that looks. So it smells wonderful. And then we're just gonna scoop them here. How easy was that? And we'll come back and show you the finished product. Now you do top these off with more granola to give it that rustic effect. With the banana one, all you substitute is the banana for the persimmon, and you can look it up. If you're interested in this recipe, go to Ina Garten on the Food Network Chef and look up banana crunch muffins. And that's for her delicious, and they are delicious, banana crunch muffins. However, this is my take, tweaking it for a holiday. If you have a persimmon tree and you don't know what to do with all those persimmons, now you know. You don't always have to make persimmon cookies. These muffins, I tell you, are delicious. And if you're gonna have a brunch or something, these are a winner, showstopper. I made these, and my son took them to he took them to work, and everybody loves them, loved them. And I might have enough for more than 18 because I'm using smaller muffins. Last time I make them in this pan with no wrappers, and so I tend to put more. Excuse me, try not to cough right now. So I have more. I'm using this oats and honey. Don't cough on your food, please. I'm just going to cover a little bit oats on the top, and stick them in the oven. And we're good to go. So that's all there is to it. If you haven't already, go to my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, share. And I'm going to be posting some baking recipes for the holidays. So stay tuned. Come and check in with me every now and then. I haven't been on because I was sick with the flu, but I recovered, but I still have that scratchy throat. Hopefully that'll be gone in a day or so. Gotta keep drinking my tea. And if you haven't seen my medicine ball tea, I posted that. And it really helped me. I made a whole pot of it. That way I wouldn't, when you're sick, you don't want to keep coming and putting all those ingredients together. So I just steeped a pot. Throughout the day I came, poured it in my cup, and heated it in the microwave. So there you go. I will post it. And the only additions I added was, I added a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. I added a half a cup of raisins, and I added some soft dried ginger, just about an eighth of a cup. I chopped it up because I got to use my ginger, and it's good for you, and it adds that fall vibe. So there you go. You've been in Deb's Kitchen. Who do we have here? Is it Diana? Hi, Diana. So check back with me in about half hour when I post the outcome. I've been in Deb's Kitchen. If you haven't, go to my Facebook group in Deb's Kitchen. I usually make reels. I'll probably make one a day, and I post it of my whatever I made. So see you later. Have a blessed day. You've been in Deb's Kitchen.